drum and bass. Go to the drum and bass. Everybody hands up.
All right, so we got LFO here in the first round. So I'm not too familiar with this guy, and I'm sure a lot of people who watch this video on my channel aren't as well. But yeah, obviously this is a looper from China. This is the semifinals against Rushy, which I think a lot more people are more familiar with. So yeah, I don't know too much of what was going on with how he created this. I know that Duncan here will probably have a lot more insight on that, and he'll probably talk about that a little bit more. But for me, I think like the music overall, very good. I like the kind of style overall. I almost had like an Arabian, like Middle Eastern kind of vibe, I think, just with the notes and whatnot he was using there. Obviously, I think that was by design. It was very prominent as well in the drum and bass portion. So yeah, I think that was very solid first round from LFO. Admittedly, for me, nothing like too like incredibly amazing for me to like kind of freak out about, and like want to talk a little bit more about. But I think like overall for first round, that was very, very solid, and the structure and sound design was absolutely amazing. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid first round. What do you think, Duncan?
Yeah, me too. Like I feel like for a first round, this type of thing is really it's really great in a way that it doesn't have to go too hard, but it's already pretty hard to answer against, you know. And whatever kind of happens, like on Rushy's end, it's like LFO can bring a like heavier round just by design to also show contrast, but also also fill in the battling aspect of it of the competition. Um, but yeah, I'm also curious, like Newfie, like like what did you kind of pick up upon like with his rapping and with what he said in the battle? Because I had totally misunderstood what he was trying to say.
I
um,
yeah, I couldn't really pick up on it. I think he was speaking Chinese for some of it. All I really
yeah, yeah.
heard from like the English was like, uh, get ready for some drum and bass or something along those lines. That's all I really picked up
Uh,
on.
okay, yeah, because the earlier part, like the before he switched to drum and bass, he's he said insane flow supposedly, and he did some rapping right. I totally thought he was saying instant flow, like the whole time until like a month ago or something. When actually I figured this was actually a track that Zhangze and his crew did, like just crew beatbox like on Swiss Beatbox's channel. Um so yeah. So apparently that's where it comes from. But other than that, it's just yeah, just a really cool round in general. Just I love the tempo switch as well. Just how he switched to drum and bass, and every time I watch LFO, just for me, I think I would pay to watch a set that he does. Just because it's so pleasant, but also really fits my heavier like music taste. Um, yeah, kind of strikes balance in some sort of ways.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I think it's worth mentioning that he didn't really have the traditional kind of setup here. I believe he was he
Yeah.
using Ableton as well?
Yeah, so he was using Ableton, a Mark One, to plug his mic into, and he used Helix LT for some effects, but yeah, it's mainly Ableton, and he used the Launchpad to control everything. So as you will see, and you as you've might have seen, he would like sample his sounds first, and then basically play the song. Like there would be sequence MIDI notes that control the pitch and among other things of the sounds that he sampled. So yeah, it's basically what like KBA did for GBB, just KBA did it in a more like in a slightly different way, as in he would sample things while some other things are playing. Like he would have some ambient sounds, and then he would go and then he would say the I'm just kind of recalling his drum and bass thing, like from producer day one. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know. I forgot that you did not watch it yet.
I was gonna say, bro. Like
Yeah,
that beat you did.
I'll,
just
I'll stop. Yeah,
It ruined 95% of what he did in his producer category.
Yeah,
That little short drum and bass thing was extremely prominent through his entire producer set. So yeah, you just spoiled it for everybody.
yeah. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
All right.
Yeah, that totally spoils everything,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah.
All right. So yeah, it's a pretty solid first round from LFO. So next up here we have Rushy, which I'm actually pretty excited to hear because I really liked his elimination for this battle. I know that I didn't react to it, but it's available on the website if you guys want to go and check it out. It was just basically his producer wildcard for GBB 23, I believe. So yeah, it was really good. So all right, let's see what Rushy came in with.
OK，陆琪准备好了吗？OK，陆琪，3、2、1。 Okay.
Sheesh. All right. Rushy coming in with a hard kind of style, bro. Wow. Very reminiscent of
Yeah.
like the kind of style he came in with for his elimination here. So yeah, I love that kind of style. Obviously, for people who watch me a lot, no, that's what I love to hear on the loop station. That kind of style, that very hard hitting, bass heavy kind of style. Yeah, just overall, I think he executed it very, very well. Um, one thing I have to say, I don't know if this was like I have to ask. In the first drop, there was one portion I think he might have accidentally removed his drums or something. I don't know if that was intentional, but it was very evident to me. I don't know if you caught picked up on that at all, Duncan, but could have been by design. I don't
Yeah.
know. Was it? Do you know?
Y- yeah, it apparently was by design. Some of us asked him as well, but yeah,
Oh,
it's like because he kind of switches between the like kicks and the snares. Apparently that was by design. So
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it didn't like really like take me out of it, but I just like noticed it was a little bit different. I don't know if it was like by accident or something, but yeah, it worked out either way. But yeah, I love that kind of switch up to the second drop there, like the different kind of the atmosphere of the track kind of changed, but it also fit in very, very well. So yeah, I thought that was a very good first round from Rushy. I'd actually give the first round to Rushy just based on like battle energy
Mm.
alone and the kind of
Yeah.
style that he had. I think is like what LFO did was very unique though, so you definitely have to take that into account. He definitely earned some respect and points there in my eyes, but I think like if we're just talking about like because it is a battle at the end of the day, I feel like Rushy came in with more battle energy for sure, and I think it also probably played through the crowd a little bit better because I actually heard like the crowd react a little bit more to Rushy here. So
Yeah.
yeah, in the battle aspect, I would give the first round to Rushy. What do you think, Duncan?
Yeah. For me it's like it's I mean I will be obviously very very biased because also obviously for those of you who don't know, like I'm great friends with both LFO and Rushy, but Rushy like taught me quite a bit like early on my looping career. But like that also means two things for my bias, as in I've heard a lot of his stuff and I understand his kind of style and his sound design uh very well, which to some degree makes it less impressive to me just by design, right? Not discounting anything he does. It's just how I would unconsciously interpret it, I feel. But then secondly, of course, like he's a really close friend, so then I would, you know, bias comes in. But yeah, like to me it's a really interesting round, as in it really fits his style of high contrast. Like both drops really sounded pretty different, but as you said, Newfie really fit. Yeah, I think for a battle, I think I would give it to Rushy as well. But one thing to note is that he did feedback once,
Yeah, I heard
which
that.
yeah, which actually I feel I can talk about that a little more at the end.
Sure.
But that does that does like come into play, when for the for decisions partly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah.
All right. So yeah, first round
Cool.
for both of us going to Rushy here. Pretty close, but at the same time, it's pretty evident because it is a battle at the end of the day. If it was like a showcase, it'd be completely different, but it is a battle. So I think like the energy from Rushy pretty much put him forward there. So ultimately, he is in the lead for us here in the first rounds. So LFO is going to have to come in here with something like he had amazing first round. Don't get me wrong, but something with a little bit different kind of vibe, maybe to put himself in the battle. So let's see what he came in with.
Round 4. 反击 let's go.
切，下次买一个真的合成器，好吧？
All right, that's a lot to break down what happened there in that second round, bro.
Yeah.
Jeez, what was he saying? Like that tagline, "You should know my name." LFO. That hits hard, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, second round, he did exactly what I thought he needed to do. He needed to come in here with something like, more battle oriented. And I think like the root of this round in particular is very battle oriented. Maybe not in the design, but just the way that it played out in the battle and the circumstance it is. Because you saw what Rushy was doing over there. The shirt that he was wearing there had the DAW, the da with the X marked out on the
Yeah.
back. So I think there's obviously a play at his opponent there, LFO, who's using Ableton, which obviously, I think it stands for digital artwork, which is pretty much like what you're hearing from LFO, like the essence of what his music is a da. So yeah, I don't know if that's beef or that's just like by circumstance. Obviously, I think like Rushy wearing it is very intentional for it to be like targeted at his opponents because he probably knew beforehand that some of the people who were competing here and just by the rule set by design allowed it. And I think that maybe he's like probably maybe not an advocate for like anti software, but by design of how he creates stuff is not in that kind of like environment. So he's like, using it as like a battle tactic to his advantage almost. So I thought that was a really interesting dynamic between Rushy and LFO there. That was really interesting, and also seeing you and Lai just kind of like come in here and hype up LFO. I thought it was pretty funny. So yeah, that was a really good second round from LFO. In terms of like a battle scenario, I actually enjoyed it more than his first, even though I think maybe technically his first round's a little bit better. But I just think like the way that the second round played out was a lot more effective than his first round. So I think that like immediately puts him back into the battle. So yeah, that was awesome. What do you think?
Yeah, like it's just really, it was really crazy for me to just see live how everything turned out, because, yeah, like DAW stands for Digital Audio Workstation, so that's basically what Ableton is. But yeah, like because Rushy made this shirt specifically for, well, basically a battle against LFO or LY, the two DAW users, the two DAW users. But yeah, like he wouldn't show anyone the shirt beforehand. So I didn't know what the shirt was about. Um yeah, so like what it says on the back was like DAW with the big cross on it, and what was in front was Chinese for, "Oh, hey, I saw you got a MacBook over there. Are you ready to play some songs for us?" So, yeah, like so like a lot of like there isn't real beef involved, but it's like we're all good friends and everything. Um, but yeah, it's like kind of making a statement for the competition. Um, and yeah, like Rushy got his like trophy as well from 2020, such as his Chinese championship win from 2020. He got the trophy up, and then what was interesting was what LFO was saying during his rapping, like the Chinese, was also like I can kind of break it down for you guys. As in, first he said 3 years has passed already, which means like Rushy won 3 years ago, and then he said I was the first place wildcard 3 years ago, and then yeah, and then like tonight we'll see who's the winner, like something along those lines. So it was really interesting how like to me at least, just watching from the side, how he threw that line out, and then like at the same time Rushy was pulling out the trophy,
Yeah.
and then he flashed the shirt. Um Also, yeah, in the middle, LFO said, if you like using the SY1000 so much, why don't you buy a real synthesizer next time? So again, like, yeah, it doesn't really make sense to some degree, because the SY is like, what do you define a real synthesizer? It's a guitar synthesizer. It's not designed for what we use it for, but still a synthesizer. Um, but yeah, just really interesting battle, and just really interesting design, like musically for LFO, because the track is in 200 BPM, I think. Just like a lot of switches and
Yeah, that,
drums,
that's
and
very fast.
see, that's very very fast. Yeah. Um, yeah, and yeah, just the switch ups and everything was great, and I agree. Like he brought in exactly the type of energy he needed to, and yeah, these 2 rounds are definitely his, like he that's what he told me, at least what he thought was his 2 best rounds that he prepared for the competition. So it really showed, and same goes for Rushy. Like he really brought his 2 best rounds against LFO, and that really showed the respect that both of them have for each other. Um, yeah. Also, side note, I'm just talking a lot because I have a lot of information, right? Hope you don't mind, but
No, yeah, bro.
um,
Go for it, man.
yeah, thanks. The headphones LFO was wearing was Rushy's. Like, I mean, he bought it from Rushy. So like it has a little Rushy sticker on it. If you like,
That's so
yeah,
random.
yeah, it's just a random detail, but um, yeah, like details like these, like that's what I feel makes events like so much more human.
Like in the middle of his
Um,
round, Rushy just goes over and takes his headphones back. That'd be
like, no,
hilarious.
yeah, that would be funny. Um, yeah, and like the necklace LFO was wearing, like, is actually the same one I'm wearing right now. I've been wearing this ever since, actually. It's like a fan gave each one of us one of these. It has the RC505 like record button on it
Oh,
on
that's
one
sick.
side, and the other side says loop.
Yeah, I
So
can't
yeah,
see it
it's
right
really
now, but
cool.
I'll see it in post, obviously. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's really cool stuff. But yeah, you have any other thoughts, Newfie? Or
Other than that, bro, like you can actually like I say this a few times, but like sometimes when people perform things, you can just feel like the passion just bleeding through the screen. And I feel like just because of like all the circumstances that happened in that round, it just kind of like set it up to be, you know, you can feel like you can just feel the energy a lot easier through this round just because of like how it played out, right? So yeah, I really appreciate that. That was super sick.
yeah, me too. Like this is just watching this again is really getting me excited for looping and beatboxing in general, and China champs, really just getting to see those guys again.
I can
Um,
imagine.
yeah, this is what keeps us going. Um, yeah,
All right, so that was a sick round from LFO. All right, so he did exactly what I thought he needed to do to get himself back into the battle, because I thought Rushy won the first round in terms of like the battle pretty convincingly. Although I did enjoy LFO's round again. Just like at the end of the day, it is a battle, so there's certain like things you need to kind of show to really like prove yourself in that aspect. So yeah, he put himself back into the battle, so it's up to Rushy here now to kind of come in with the response to take it home. So let's see what he came in with.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, Beatbox! Okay.
All right, second round from Rushy. Yeah, again, coming in with that kind of style, I absolutely love in the loop station scene. You know, it's a hard hitting kind of style. Admittedly, I like this first round a little bit better, but this one's very, very solid as well. That's tough, man. That's really tough. Especially the fact that I know who wins the battle now. I knew before I watched it, but yeah. So for me, that's tough, man. I feel like the second round from LFO had such a massive impact and massive implications in the battle itself. Just the way it played out, and yeah. But at the same time, man, Rushy is just his kind of style overall is just so damn well suited, man, for like the battle kind of scenario, right? Just like by default of like the kind of style that he has. So, and like the fact that he came in here with the second round and he executed it. I haven't heard like the original version per se. Like I don't know if it was like one for one of like what he planned to do, but it sounded very, very solid, very well structured. Sounded very, very complete, like a complete track. So that's tough, man. And it's a very good style too. So that's tough. You know,
Yeah.
it's hard. I love what LFO did in the second round. I love what he did, but I don't know. Taking the battle as a whole, like the entire battle, it's so close, bro. It's really close for me. If I had to choose, I'd give it to Rushy, like a 3-2, bro. Like, I just think like what he did is so super effective. But
Mhm.
this is like one of these battles, bro. You can ask me tomorrow, and I might have to change my mind. But like
Yeah.
I can re-listen to it and have like a different mindset. But yeah, I think Rushy won this 3-2 potentially. But yeah, what do you think, Duncan?
Yeah, I think it was really really close as well. Um, yeah, like there were three judges. Um, so like actually, can we see if like they actually show the hand raising? Because I
3,
the like
2.
the votes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to
So
watch it now, or
well, I can talk a little bit before, I guess,
let's
and then
let's
we
let's watch
can.
it? Then you can say what you have to say.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah,
1.
sounds good.
OK，恭喜咱们 LFO。
Yeah, so it went 2-1 for LFO. So,
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's interesting too, because like what actually happened was Brez actually took like 5 to 7 minutes to think, like because it was so hard to make a decision. And we talked to Brez after, and what kind of made Brez make that decision was actually the feedback that we talked about in the first round.
Okay.
That's what that's what he feel tips the competition. Um, but yeah, like fun fact is actually Rushy did actually perform everything one for one, except for the feedback, right? But then everything else he actually did like literally perfectly, which is something I really admire because I don't. I make like 1,000 mistakes every time I perform, and yeah, I'm the type of guy to do 300 takes for a wild card. Rushy would do like
Yeah.
6 and be done with it. So, yeah, that's definitely one of his strengths, and it's really important when it comes to battles as well. It's like consistency is really really huge thing. Um, yeah, like for me, I would probably obviously it's really hard for me to make a decision, but I really think it could have gone either way. It's really difficult as well um to judge with like LFO using Ableton and Rushy using RC505 and friends. It's yeah. I feel like if you don't take that into consideration, LFO like, you know, probably should have won. But then it's really hard not to ignore that fact as well because the workflow and the capabilities of the machines are just fundamentally so different, right? But yeah, that's how the rules were. So yeah, that's what I would say about it. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty crazy because we mentioned this in the last video. I think we did. We might have talked about this off screen. I can't remember. But you have someone like Brez, right, who is judging, and he has some opinions about like, software, The fact that he actually sided with the LFO here is actually kind of a little bit surprising, but I feel like, obviously if you're in that kind of situation, you have to put your bias aside. You have to judge it based on like, what's presented in front of you, right? So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very interesting to see kind of Brez go the other way. Like you said he took like 7 minutes. It's pretty interesting. And you mentioned that in his first round of Rush, he had the feedback. Like I had to go back and rewatch it, but I feel like it wasn't all that prominent. I felt like it was only like
It
one case, wasn't it? It was like a few second thing.
it was like a 2 second thing. It wasn't actually that big of a deal, but then considering it's really hard to judge at that point because LFO won't have feedback like all along, right? Because
Yeah,
all he has to really deal with is that one vocal preset
yeah,
that will feedback or not. But then for Rushy, it's obviously different. Um, but yeah, so um,
that's pretty crazy. It
like
was that close, right? Like in Brez's eyes, like that two, a 2 to 3 second long feedback was the reason for his decision to sway one way or another. It just actually like shows you how crazy close that was in his mind.
Yeah, that definitely. Like I was surprised when I heard that as well, but then like I also see why. I also see totally like his thought process also totally makes sense to me. Um, but yeah, like this battle is really definitely the best battle. I'd say just Chinese championship loop station history wise. The second best is probably Sensei versus again Rushy. But yeah, it's really dynamic battle that it's really one of a kind.
All right, so that's pretty much it for the video, guys. It's crazy
Yeah.
semifinal. We have the finals matchup here now. It's going to be LFO versus Duncan. That's one should be pretty exciting, I think. Um, yeah, it's going to be. I don't think you're going to come in with like with the anti dash shirt. I think that's probably all we're going to see from that. But yeah, it's going to be software versus hardware again. Well, software and hardware versus hardware. Again, so
Actually, now that I think about it, I probably should have, asked
yeah, that'll be
like
pretty funny.
as Rushy for the shirt. Yeah, that would be funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't think about that.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much what we're gonna see again. This kind of dynamic between the different kind of styles, I guess, or not style, but you know, the way you form your music is going to be like we saw here with the two different kind of you know, setups and whatnot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. So we'll probably get around to that eventually at some point. Is there a third place battle?
No, unfortunately.
All right,
Yeah.
so yeah, all we have left is the final in. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed what you heard here, links in the description to the original video. Go check it out. Yeah, again, this is not on YouTube. So you're gonna have to go on. I believe it's pronounced Billy Billy, but the link will be in the
Yeah.
description to that. If you want to support me though, you can leave a like on this video. You can sub to my channel. You can check out my Discord channel as well. Links in the description to that. And Duncan.
Yeah, and if you want to support me, you can follow me on Instagram or and or subscribe to me on YouTube under the name Duncan Loops.
All right, and other than that, we'll see you in the next Beatbox Reaction video.